Can he tell me why he voted with Joe Biden 96% of the time if he was standing for Georgia? That tells you that he's for Joe Biden, I'm for Georgia.
Mr. Walker, thank you. Now, before we move on, gentlemen,
I'd like to respond to that.
I will give you that opportunity, sir. I will give you that opportunity, Senator. You have 15 seconds to respond.
It is very clear that my opponent would rather be running against anybody except me. But either me, there are only two people who are going to sit in this seat, either me or my opponent. And I think this race is about who's ready to represent the people of Georgia.
Well, that was just moments ago as Senator Raphael Warnock reminded Georgia voters what is at stake come November. This is the first debate for the Georgia senator and his Republican challenger, Herschel Walker. And, you know, Walker has tried to lower expectations before the debate, telling reporters that he was not that smart. He said that about himself. Walker has spent the past few weeks in intensive debate practice. And back with me are Susan Del Percio and Dino Abdallah. Susan, you know, I've worked in campaigns. You've run campaigns. I don't know that you ever had a candidate like Herschel Walker, but I would think at a certain point a party would have this sort of respect for politics and respect for the United States Senate that they wouldn't want a candidate like Herschel Walker. Now, he was the pick of the voters down there. That's who they picked. They had a lot of choices. What would you do with a candidate like this? And why do you think Republicans don't care about his scandals?
Well, just from a logistic point of view, I would do exactly what they did with Walker tonight. They gave him very scripted lines to deliver, and he memorized them. So he's delivering. As far as what do you do with a client? I mean, I'm sorry, what you do with a candidate like that? It's really tough once they're on the ballot. So even with all this abortion talk, they couldn't walk away from him. And I think when we saw Rick Scott go down there, it was to show for fundraising purposes, we're not abandoning him. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the party did first get behind Herschel Walker because Donald Trump likes him. That is what it came down to. They did not get behind a credible person, and they could have. It's not like there's lack of people who could run for Senate who are capable. Yeah. They went with a name that Donald Trump
because Donald Trump likes them. The abortion issue has been the big sort of issue. So here he is dealing with it. Walker on abortion.
We will see time and time again tonight, as we've already seen, that my opponent has a problem with the truth. And just because he said something doesn't mean it's true. I have supported our police officers. I've called them and I've prayed with their families, like those officers lost in Cobb County when they were killed, doing what police officers routinely do. You can support police officers, as I've done, through the COPS program, through the Invest to Protect program, while at the same time holding police officers, like all professions, accountable. One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer.
That was a great line. But now let me play a soundbite that I wanted to play for y'all. That's a good line, Raphael. He's a pastor. Don't play with a pastor. They know how to speak. Here is Walker defending himself on the abortion issue.
We will see time and time again tonight, as we've already seen, that my opponent has a problem with the truth. And just because he said something doesn't mean it's true. I have supported our police officers. I've called them and I've prayed with their families.
Hold on a second. We're having gremlins today. Okay, let me just ask. Do we have a thought one? So we don't. Let me just read it to you. So, okay, we don't have it yet. So essentially tonight, and you guys watched this. You guys were back in the back watching it. Walker again denied that he had gotten a woman pregnant and paid for an abortion. Your thoughts?
Of course. And what other option does he have at this point to double and triple down? On some level, I mean, Walker is the father of his own voting bloc, so that's going to probably help him a lot in the campaign.
And maybe the father of our country at this point. I have to check if he's my daddy.
But the thing to me is Herschel Walker said, I didn't know that woman. You remember that? Then it turned out New York Times finds he's paying court-ordered child support payments.
Only $3,500
for the other child. So look, he has no choice. He's got to keep lying. Was he coming clean now? Republicans go like, But I love the other clip. Raphael Warnock's absolutely right. Herschel Walker is a serial liar. He lied about being in the police, being at Quantico with the FBI. Lied about now he says I'm not smart. 4 years ago he was on Sirius XM with Shay saying I graduated valedictorian in the top 1% of my class of college. He didn't graduate college. It's lie after lie, and of course abusing his ex-wife, where we saw the video of. he, in a word, he's despicable. He shouldn't be there. He is a despicable person.
Yeah, and yet the Republican Party is not at all embarrassed. I mean, you can go on. Tommy Tuberville doesn't know anything that's in the Civil Rights Act. He didn't know what the Civil Rights Act was, as a matter of fact, and said some blatantly racist stuff recently. Nobody said a thing. You can go to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That was a Klan meeting, right?
It sure looked like one.
It sure looked like one, didn't it? And that's really what it comes down to, is that it's playing to that audience and it's using that language. And Herschel Walker doesn't have the ability to speak that way because I just don't think he can thread the sentences in a row. But if he could, he would.
Yeah.
That's what they've decided to do, and that's what's destroyed the Republican Party.
And the thing is that it's trying to appeal, in their mind, like this is what we have to do to appeal to white working class voters and get them excited and get them to come out and play and vote for us.
Absolutely. Remember, we've all heard the cruelty is the point. Yeah. Well, it's also the racism is the point. But what's missing is the sentence continuing. The racism is the point because the base likes it, because it animates the base. It's not because these leaders are inherently cruel or racist. They might be. They say it because they think it works. And sadly, it works for a swath, not all Republicans, but a swath of them.
And you know what you do
to come out and vote.
to cover it up?
Do it.
You get a black guy and you say, well, here's a black guy.
But here's the good news, I think. I have good news, is that I think there will be 5 to 10% of Republicans that go to the polls in November in Georgia and say, I'm voting for Kemp. Okay, that may not be good news for some people watching the show. But they are not voting for Walker because he is too much for that moderate Republican to take. So they just walk away after they vote for Kemp.
Right. And I think for Democrats, it's difficult because, right, I mean, you don't want to attack somebody's intelligence, you know, and make fun of them for it. But at the same time, if you have respect for the United States Senate, if you have a respect for politics and you think it actually means something, you do want an intelligent person in there who can make decisions, not a puppet that they can stick their hand in like he's Kermit the Frog. Well, actually, I love Kermit the Frog. Let me not. And Kermit the Frog is actually quite articulate.
Well, look what's happening in Pennsylvania. You have Dr. Oz going after John Fetterman, saying he's somehow lacking the cognitive skills to be a senator. So, but you won't have Democrats come back the same way against Herschel Walker on whatever cognitive issues there may or may not be. I'm not a doctor, but something's going on there.
Yeah.
He does not deserve to be.
I mean, some people have said he might have played football, but has helmet on because I don't know what he's doing out there. He's having a lot of babies. We know that.